This is our girls' trip to Alaska in fall of 2022. Mom and I traveled there with a group of people from Wimberley, Texas. It was about 20 of us, and we saw so many beautiful parts of Alaska. We saw so many animals as well, so you'll see a short summary of our travels and all the fun that we had. Our first stop was Fairbanks, which is deep in the interior of Alaska. We stayed right on the Chena River. This is some views from our hotel. We stayed at the Chena River Lodge, and we had a cabin that was just perfect for the two of us. Here's a picture of the group that we traveled with. We were only in Fairbanks a short time, so we got a guided tour of downtown Fairbanks. We went to a museum where we got to see the Alaska wildlife and what they look like in their natural habitat, and including how the natives would smoke their salmon. We stopped by the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. It's this huge pipeline which runs the length of the state and helps transport oil and other products. The Iditarod is a classic sled dog race that's run every year. Part of our tour in Fairbanks included a paddle boat river tour, so that's what you see right now. And we got to see a training ground where some of the sled dogs train. That four-wheeler has no motor in it, so it's strictly just the dogs that are powering that. You can see how fast they go. It's really something to behold. We saw reindeer, and we even stopped at this small village which recreated how the Indians and the natives would have lived in early times. We got to see how they would smoke the salmon and also how they would catch the salmon on this contraption called a salmon wheel. Here's a picture of the paddle boat that we were on. The next stop on our tour was Denali National Park, which was just gorgeous. And so we boarded our train, but not before seeing this really cute train track in the station. And here's some really fun views. This is an exact replica of the train that we were on, including this car right here that you can see has windows all around. This is our train car. We got to see views of the Alaska countryside, which were just breathtaking. As I said, all the fall colors were out, which you can see here, and everything is so pristine there. Much of the state is uninhabited. So here we are, and our first activity was doing a chuck wagon dinner. You can see our wagon pulling up here, and our horses that took us. They were huge. They were very tall. And it was just such a fun evening. We went and had a big group dinner in a remote cabin. This is a picture of the Dome home. I had to rent a car while I was there, and I picked up the car at this place. I just thought it was super cute. We took the car, and Mom and I went and toured Denali National Park. You can see here the views are just stunning. And there were many buses just like that one that would take people deep into the park. On this tour, you're only able to drive 14 miles in, and only the buses can go beyond that. Of course, we got our mother and daughter picture. And you can see here the many colors of the hills here in Denali. It is truly breathtaking. Everything about it was so pristine and so untouched. We even got a tour of how the sled dogs live in the park. They are working dogs. They help the park rangers in the wintertime when they have to go deep into the park. I took the car and I went on a horseback tour. So I did a trail ride, as you can see here. It was just gorgeous with all of the fall colors being right there on the trail. And my horse was Marble. Mom went back into the park and rode one of the buses and got to go deeper into the park and see all of these wonderful views, including bears. Meanwhile, I went on a hike the next day on Sugarloaf Mountain. It was a 5-hour guided tour. It was very strenuous, but we got to go up really high and see really wonderful views of all of the valley there in Denali. Here I am. I used trekking poles to get up to the top. It was pretty chilly that day. There was many interesting flora and fauna, as you can see here, that we came across on our hike. We had a really nice hotel room, and this is just a relaxing scene in the afternoon. And you can even see the train leaving and departing. This is Glitter Gulch. That's the tourist shops where we would go shopping. And actually, as I mentioned, it was the end of the season, so you can see here everything was closing down within a matter of days. This is funny. There's a Moscow Mule. You can see Russia from your backyard when you drink it. Now our time in Denali was coming to a close, and it was time to board the train again. And we got to see more magnificent views of Alaska as we took the 8-hour train ride down to Anchorage. Here are some trumpeter swans. Mom and I even got to play cards on the train. The train, there's only one track in Alaska, and it runs north and south and takes all different kinds of supplies. Because the state is so remote, they take supplies deep into the interior. And here we are in Anchorage. This was our final stop on our tour. We toured downtown. We got to see the Anchorage Museum, which was just really lovely. And we got to see different artifacts from Alaskan natives, different ways that they use the animals to clothe themselves and feed themselves. And of course, they always relied on the sled dogs to help them get transported. This is some gorgeous artwork. While we were in Anchorage, we saw our cousin Dodie. We took him to breakfast, so that was really fun seeing him. He doesn't get to Texas much because it is quite an effort to travel by airplane over to Texas. You can see pictures here of the Alaskan natives hunting, which is a big way of life. We also took a sightseeing and shopping tour, and we even saw a moose while we were out. Moose come into the city in the wintertime. We went by an airport. There are many airplanes that operate because supplies do have to be delivered so remotely. And a chocolate river. They even got a Wonka bar. And here are some fun, silly t-shirt designs that we saw at a tourist shop. And our trip to Alaska was coming to a close. Here's a river that there's a salmon run that comes straight into Anchorage. You can see them when they're coming on their annual salmon run. Here we are back at the airport, but not before we saw one more moose. It truly was a lovely, memorable trip. Mom and I made such sweet memories. Thanks for watching.